Hey, good day. Welcome to another episode of Robert Report. I'm your host, Robert BOBTV Brown. How you doing today? Well, Stuart Varney of Fox Business News. God, this guy, man, I don't know what to say about this guy. The arrogant, cocky business owner who wants to keep all the money he can get while continuing to get social welfare goes off on Bernie Sanders, calling him a 1%er, as if he's been 1% all his life, trying to put him in a category with them and trying to shame him for saying, I am a millionaire now. I did write a couple of books. Can't help people like the books and bought it. That's on them. I still believe you need to pay your fair share of taxes. I still believe we need to have Medicare for all. I still believe we need to have no cost education. I still think we need to deal with the housing. I still think we need to do all these things. So don't use your money as an excuse. Watch this.
It costs money. Are people going to pay more in taxes? Yes. I talked about a tax on Wall Street speculation that will help us make colleges, public colleges and universities tuition free.
Now, I want to stop right there because he's telling you exactly some things that's going to pay for or invest in these programs that's going to help people.
We have a tax plan to raise the $1 trillion we need over a 10-year period to rebuild our crumbling infrastructure.
There you've got Senator Bernie Sanders revealing last night a lot about how he plans to fund his agenda, admitting there will be taxes for all of his plan and not everything's going to be paid for.
Stuart Varney hosts Varney and Company on the Fox Business Network and My Take with Stuart Varney on Fox Nation, and he joins us now to react to this. I mean,
come on. I want to react. I want to get right at this.
Weren't you glad that Martha really pressed him? How are you going to pay for this? And he said basically, no deductibles.
He deflected.
But he said your taxes will go up.
You're going to pay these high tax rates? He deflected. I mean, look.
Now, before we get into this, the man just told you, Stuart, how he's going to pay for this. He said he's going to make people like you and him. Now he's a millionaire. Do you understand he has to continue to write these books, or he better be real frugal to stay a millionaire? Because that's not his annual income. That's from the royalties of the books. And royalty from books, anyway, let me get off this. He did mention, one of the ways he said he's going to mention is a speculation tax on Wall Street. There's other ways he say he's going to pay for it, Stuart. But let me get into this. You know me, I'm stopping. Another way he's going to pay for it is stop these dumb regime change wars, which you Republicans and majority of Democrats champion. Stop sending these people out to war, all because you want to control other people's territory. We stop these wars, a lot of that money will go back into investing into the American public. Education, housing, the whole 9 yards. Other ways he could pay for this. Let me just keep going, because Stuart Varney act like he can get into Bernie Sanders behind. Now, look, not for nothing, you guys got me up here trying to defend somebody who signed the crime bill. Now, he claims that he had an excuse for it. I said his excuse is not good enough. You shouldn't have never signed it. But I will not negate the fact that he do have some good policies that's going to help all people. He's a democratic socialist, and some of his policies will lift up all people. But there's certain people in society need an extra lifting up. Now, I'm not waiting on nobody to lift me up. I'm not waiting on the government or anybody to lift me up. I'm going to find ways to partner, business, invest, whatever. At the same time, work a job. At the same time, do this. I don't even worry you guys about funding this program no more. I got 2 businesses. I'll tell you about my 2 businesses. I ask you to get familiar with the business. It may not be for you, but you know somebody, and support that way. So I have my own way of raising capital to try to find some way to sustain my life. In this situation, Bernie Sanders already had pointed out, if Stuart take his dollar signs out of his brain and go look at the progressive agenda, go look at Bernie Sanders' platform and maybe Joe Stein platform, a lot of other people running that's really part of the social movement program. I wouldn't necessarily call it democratic socialist. That he would know exactly, say, what get me is these people tell you how they're going to pay for it, and you act like it go over your head. Let me keep going.
Look, here is a guy he's a one percenter, he's a millionaire, and he's a socialist. I've got a problem with that.
All right, so he's a 1%. He wrote a couple of books. He became a millionaire. He probably had about 2-3 million. Let me go look at his network since we up here, Stuart Varney. The socialist senator amasses a $2.5 million fortune. Really? You write a book, you make $2.5 million, you think that's a fortune. You can spend $2.5 million on one raggedy mansion. One that you really got to fix up. $2.5 million, even though it's a lot to working class people like me, it's really not a lot. And here's Bernie Sanders, $2.5 million. Previously, before he wrote those 2 books, that's how he made his money. Those books is no different from you writing an album. He was about $750,000 a year in net worth. His salary is still 100 plus. A lot of his 2.5 million he's giving into charity. Now I'm not going to go into this article over and over again, but you look at the 3 books. Bernie Sanders wrote Our Revolution. That was the first book that introduced Bernie Sanders to me was Our Revolution. Now there was another book before that. Oh no, yeah. Then Bernie Sanders, A Political Revolution, 27,000 copies. And then in 2018, 26,000 copies. So his first book, because Bernie was so popular during that time, did 220,000 copies. He didn't he didn't do 1 million copies like some people do when they write a book. 2016, 2017, 27,000 copies. 2018, 26,000 copies. So in 2016, he made $1 million. 2017, he dropped to $127,000. So that's a big difference, which means the first book did good, second book didn't do too well. The new book kind of brought it back up and he did $505,000. Now you got to understand a lot of his money goes to the publisher too. Now they're going to talk about Bernie's homes up here. Bernie Sanders 3 homes. One of these homes was a family member of Jane's. She inherited. She didn't buy it. One home is Jane and Bernie Sanders' home. And then they bought a home with the proceeds off the waterways of Vermont. Still, with all 3 of these houses and these book sales, Bernie Sanders' fortune is only $2.5 million. When majority of the numbnut senators in Congress makes well over $100 million. Here's his cash investment, $500,000, government pension, $700,000, real estate, $1,300. That's the value on all 3 of these homes provided. His pension from being in the government that long is $700,000. Now you can't even count that because he ain't using this yet. Bernie gonna be in politics prior to the day he die. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to rich-splain. You know, I hate when people use those words, mansplain and, you know, all this stuff. They're trying to rich-splain Bernie Sanders lifestyle. So let's go over here and look at old Stuart Varney. What's his net worth? So he figured, he's rich now. He shouldn't be still talking the same talk. He should be acting like one of us. Do you realize no matter what you say, Bernie Sanders is still going to side with working people, going to side with the middle class and the lower class. All right, so let's look at Stuart Varney. Stuart Varney network is $10 million. $10 million. There's nowhere near 2 million. And Stuart Varney did this through businesses. Bernie Sanders did not do his through business. He wrote a couple of books, whoop-de-doo. American economic consultant Stuart Varney has worked for Fox News and Fox Business Network. He joined the Fox News in January 2004 and worked as a business contributor on many shows such as Your World with Neil Cavuto. He also served as a guest host for Your World. He is married to Deborah and his 6 children. He lives in Franklin Lake, New Jersey, with his wife and children. On October 29, 2014, the New York Post reported that Varney was served with a divorce complaint by his wife of 21 years. The complaint alleged Varney conducted a 9-year affair with a woman in Orlando. So Mr. Point the Finger having affairs on his wife, allegedly, and he got another point the finger at Bernie Sanders. Varney associated across Fox Business School, and he started working from there since January 2004. Varney also associated within Your World with Neil Cavuto, where he is recognized as a business contributor within. Stuart's father was a farmer. His mother was teaching in a local secondary school. Since both of his fathers and mothers were busy in their professional working, therefore he was brought up by his grandmother in the very stage. Stuart is the eldest of the 4 children from his family, having 2 brothers and sisters. Stuart Varney's career started early. The working times was spent in Nairobi, Kenya, within the early phase, probably over there robbing black people out of their golden resources like the rest of Republicans and Democrats do. Along with that, he got graduated in the very time from London School of Economics. His work in the shows like The Coast of Freedom took a good space into the market of business. Blocked by now, and similar to that, he is also engaged upon Your World as a guest host with an excellent performance. Stuart, at his very first experience, worked in KEMO TV, K-E-M-O TV, where he got recognition in the field of journalism as his official career, and somehow he got able to space himself within a good position among there. Varney states joining to Fox News is the great time achievement in his life. Yeah, at the same time, you're cheating on your wife, allegedly. Stuart Varney network, $10 million at present. His network is increasing in some years, by years which is expected to be double the previous years because of his salary. So not only he had $10 million in the bank, Fox News is paying him a good salary. Guarantee you Fox News is paying him more than Bernie Sanders is making in the Senate. He is dedicated toward his loved mothers, toward his success. Stuart's height is 5'8" and tall, but his weight and body measurement is not mentioned to the public. Stuart Varney's personal life. Stuart is the father of 6 children. He's currently living to Franklin Lakes. He got married to his affair, Deborah. He got married to his affair, Deborah, and by now he is the father of 6 children. Before he got married, once he was also in a deep affair with a woman belonging from Orlando, Florida, yet they did not marry. The reason behind their separation is unknown, yet the guesses made by the people are that they started suffering from conflict in their relationship. Stuart is making a wealthy time with his children. He has no any mentally or decisions to divorce his wife. Also, he has no any bitter past related to divorce. I don't know what all that stuff means. Stuart loves traveling with his family, and he is pure family-oriented man. You just said the man plays around with his wife, but he's a pure family-oriented man. Obviously, family values don't mean nothing to him. And if he's a Christian, that don't mean nothing to him too, because most of these Republicans tend to say they're Christians, and they're not really. They're probably Christian, but they're probably not acting like a Christian. He is also good at singing. And according to his spouse, he is very romantic in his love life. As a result, they're seen in public, exchanging their love for one another. All right, whoop-de-doo. Stuart Varney. Let's get back to old Stu.
He's trying to make sure that we, the rest of us, on our way up, don't accumulate the kind of pile that he's already
and
that he got at 77.
And on the way out.
Yeah, I mean,
with the estate.
Keyword. He hasn't always been rich. He's 77. He made some books, and he still plan on paying his fair share of taxes. Why are you getting upset, Stuart Varney? Because you're a greedy vulture capitalist. You don't care about people. You don't even care about, allegedly, your children, because you're wrecking up your own household trying to get your Jones on with another woman. And you're married. And the only reason why you probably didn't divorce your wife is because it's cheaper to keep her there. It's cheaper to keep her.
Tax.
It's outrageous. He wants to raise the estate tax dramatically to take it off you. Now, look, where's...
All right, so you want to raise the state tax once it get to a certain amount of money, I think about $10 million, then he'll raise the state tax. You're about at $10 million in, right, Stuart? No, what you want to do, you want to live a lavish style by having more money coming in. No, you still can live a lavish style at $10 million, yet raise the taxes a little bit. And the raising is probably no more than what Reagan had, you know, their hero. Probably no more than that. So you want to keep this welfare of having low taxes for the wealthy, because that's just what it is. Well, you don't have to pay into the system. You want to take that extra money and pocket it, kind of like what Trump did with that so-called budget cut, tax cut. And he just assumed that these businesses are going to take that money and reinvest it back into the people that work for these businesses. What he should have did, they should have put an amendment saying that any business that don't take that extra excess money from lowering the taxes will be fined. And that money will go toward the working class. See, Bernie Sanders did something like that. Another policy Bernie Sanders did is say, hey, we're not going to have that. Whatever they're getting paid in welfare, you're going to pay it. If they're not making enough money, we're going to take it out of your business. You're going to pay taxes to pay for this. Other than that, pay them a decent wage where they can get off welfare. Let me keep going.
the fairness in this? Where is the fairness in taking more?
What do you mean by that?
Wait. Bernie Sanders constantly goes back to the idea.
This dude is real mad. The nerves of him. He's trying to take $500,000 out of my $10 million and give it to people. He probably made that $10 million off the back of people, Varney.
That he has a fair plan. He is for fairness in our society. Where is the fairness in taking more than half of anyone's income? Where is it?
It's his dynamic. It's different than anybody. When he first burst on scene a couple of years ago, he's a democratic socialist.
Okay.
It's about socialism.
Where is the...
It's the difference between democratic socialists and socialism. It's not the same thing. Steve Ducey, or Dookie, Ducey, Pussy, whatever your name. Democratic socialists and democratic socialism and being a socialist is not the same thing, but of course they're going to try to lump this in the same pile. But if you don't educate yourself, and I'm learning more and more as I do my own activism work and then working with unions and then studying at the new school and listening to people like Richard Wolff and the experts on, I'm realizing they're way totally separate. But these numbnuts won't even take the time to get educated on socialism. All they think about is capitalism and vulture capitalism, and they don't even know the various phases of capitalism. And these guys are the ones sitting on a white couch over there near Times Square making millions of dollars and don't know what the hell they're talking about. While a brother like me sitting in his little YouTube studio, I'm not getting paid nothing, and I still got more brains than them numbnuts.
Fairness in confiscating our money when we've saved all our lives for that money to pass on to our children and our grandchildren.
All right, so most of these taxes that Bernie's talking about is taking off about $10 million. That is the money that you made off the back of working class. 9 times out of 10, you didn't make it like Bernie made his. Bernie made his with book sale royalties. Just like Puff Daddy make royalties, 50 Cent make royalties. I write a book, I'll make royalties. As a matter of fact, I'm working on one now. I make royalties. Hit song royalties. Did you earn that? You earned every bit of your sole proprietorship, but you got to understand the record industry is going to get their cut. The workers is going to get their cut of you making that money because you got to deal with distribution. Look, Stuart Varney is crying because Bernie Sanders want to deal with the estate tax, and Bernie Sanders want to tax off of 10%, and Bernie Sanders want to tax Wall Street speculation. Now, Varney, if I'm not mistaken, is not a stockbroker. He don't work in Wall Street. He probably got friends in Wall Street. He probably took some of his money and invested in stocks. He's crying because there may be a speculation tax. Nobody's saying you're going to go to jail. We're just going to tax you, Varney, if you make a certain amount of money. Not all of it. I'm not going to touch you under 10,000, 10 million. But once you go over it, yeah, we're going to get a little tax off that. And he is seething hot. And Steve Ducey, you guys probably don't know what he's talking about. Well, you guys probably got $10 million also because of working with Fox. Let's see what Steve Ducey is making. All right, so Steve Ducey network is $9 million. $9 million. His annual salary is $4 million. So you're going to talk about Bernie Sanders making $2 million just for writing a book? But y'all sitting up here, he's making $4 million just to have that stupid grin on his face. Yeah, that one. And you're going to get mad at Bernie Sanders now. Like I said, y'all got me over here. I'm not going to let you Republicans do this. If anybody going to talk about Bernie Sanders like a dog, it's going to be me. It's not y'all, okay? And believe me, I'm going to talk about on real issues, valid issues to call them out on, but not this dumb stuff. Let's see what, what's the other dude name up here? Forgot his name.
Where's the fairness in confiscating that?
Or where's the fairness in
tax,
if you don't work, but I work really hard? Where's the fairness in taking half of my paycheck to give it to you who's not working at all?
It's a different concept of fairness, is it not?
And who says somebody's not working? Republicans always use this talking point. Majority of Americans are working. There are more Americans working than Americans not working. It's not the fact of Americans not working. It's the fact that these big oligarchs, these companies, these bigwigs, these top cats, aristocrats, are making all this money and profit and don't want to share it with their workers. I mean, right now I am studying the history of labor movements and studying how these rich people just crapped on people who had no power. The only thing, they needed that money bad to take care of their family. It was hard getting jobs back then. And they would put them in all kind of horrible conditions and make them work in textile, you had to work by the pieces. You didn't work by the day. Just horrible. Unsafe working conditions. They don't want you lobbying with unions because they don't want you to get together and fight against them. In one case, a bunch of textile workers, pretty much almost got a contract with a union. Then they backed down because they got some stuff from their boss. The boss caved in a little bit and gave them what they want, but they just didn't want a union. And then while they went back to their normal work routine, they found that their boss wasn't going to give them what they originally negotiated on. And one of the things that they did one time to keep the union from coming in, they barricaded the door, locked the doors, and then there was a fire that caught, and you probably watch it up here on YouTube, and those people got fired. It's these wealthy people trying to be a miser. You start this company, you probably build it with your brains, your workers build them with their labor, and they're back because you didn't labor. The only thing you labored was your thought process and strategizing maybe. And 9 times out of 10, you probably had a worker helping you do that. And you don't think you need to pay your fair share to these people who are out here who haven't had a raise in umpteen years? Yet profits go up, cost of living go up, And you think their wages shouldn't go up, and you don't think that since their wages not going up, that you shouldn't be taxed to help fix the gap there? Man, get out of here with this stuff, Stuart Varney. Arrogant. You know, when you talk about white supremacists, you talking about this guy. I guarantee you, this guy, if you're not looking, if you walk by a homeless black dude or a Spanish dude, Hispanic dude, Latino, he gonna kick him. He probably spit on him. And if it was legal, he'd probably do something else to him. And the dude just laying there sleeping. He probably think they're the scum of the earth. Let's keep going.
To me, fairness is allowing people with the brains, talent, drive, and ability to climb that food chain and get to the top and stay there and be proud of it.
All right, Stuart Varney, nobody said that. Fairness also for people to do the same thing. But fairness also say that you're not going to always, everybody's not designed to have their own business. Some people are going to have to work. But for you to treat them as not an equal, you thinking you're better than them because you climbed up to the top. 9 times 10, the only way you didn't climb up to the top, you stepped your way up to the top by using the back of your workers. You arrogant white supremacist.
Fairness to him is taking it off you.
Well, Stuart, I got news for you. He's the front runner
Well, okay.
of the declared candidates.
What can I say? If the Democratic Party has moved so far to the left that Bernie Sanders, a socialist, is now the front runner, I would confidently predict that he loses in 2020 and Donald Trump wins.
And I'll come back at you and say it don't matter whether he's a Democrat or Republican. Donald Trump, he preaches socialism for the rich. Bernie Sanders is preaching so-called socialism to lift up the poor. The bottom line is this ain't got nothing to do with the Democratic Party. The only thing the Democrats can do is stop Bernie. And if they do that by hook and crook, Trump will win again because the independents who are supporting Bernie Sanders probably vote for Trump. But 9 times 10, they're not going to vote either. What you're going to get, Trump is going to get the default because the Republican base is going to go out for Trump, but the Democrats lost half of their base, rigging and cheating against Bernie Sanders again, and then majority of the independent base who's not going to vote for Trump because they can't stand him. They tried that protest and they saw what it got them, but they're not going to sit there and say, well, I'll give the Democrats another shot too, especially when you're cheating and rigging and spitting on the democratic process. Spitting on the election process by cheating. And like I told a friend of mine, the only way Donald Trump will win is if the Democratic Party rigged this election because they're still going to think that, well, if we put a good enough candidate that we pick other than Bernie Sanders, they're all going to fall for our candidate, and they're not. Let me keep going.
Couple of things he said. He pushed back when he said, "I don't vilify millionaires." So Martha said to him, "You know, you vilify millionaires." I do not.
He does not with
millionaires and billionaires.
He's changed his language.
He never vilified millionaires and billionaires. He just said they need to do their fair share. They need to pay their fair share. Now, look, you know me. I'm always going to try to tell what I believe is the truth. I may be wrong, but what I believe in the truth is the truth. I never heard Bernie Sanders crap on millionaires. I never heard him crap on billionaires. And when he always said, well, the millionaires and the billionaires, he's always talking about them paying their fair share in taxes.
A couple of years ago, he was ranting about millionaires and billionaires.
Like him.
Well, now he's a millionaire, so he's dropped the rant against millionaires, and it's just billionaires.
He's still saying millionaires and billionaires. He's still saying they should pay their fair share. That is not crapping on you. That is not making you, he ain't call y'all dumb. He ain't saying none of that. Y'all evil. He ain't saying none of that. He just saying, I want you to pay your fair share. See, that's one of the things about democratic socialism is they're not against capitalism. They're against capitalism to the extreme. You go to most democratic socialist countries, capitalism still have their work there. It's not totally ran by the government. That's where you go into more of extreme socialism, not democratic socialists, a real socialist government, or borderline communism, where the government, the people have taken over controls. Well, the government has taken over control of everything. The means of production, government out here making cars. You look at North Korea and things like that. That is a communist. You want to say it's socialist? What's the socialist? No, that's communism. That's an extreme, ultra extreme level of socialism. Nobody's talking about that. Bernie Sanders is talking about the lowest level of socialism. That's democratic socialism. The key word is democracy still reigns. Corporatism is still in play. Nobody's getting rid of that. It's just that we're taking a lot of our taxes and funding it in what you call redistribute. No, it's not redistribute. It was redistributed when you went when you turn it from this bottom-up philosophy and you change it to the trickle-down philosophy. That's redistribution.
I mean, you set your sights a little bit higher than this. I'm sorry, but that was an unconvincing performance last night, and hats off to Brett and Martha, who pressed him hard and made it an entertaining discussion of socialism. I thought it was good.
But also hats off to Bernie Sanders for coming on Fox and revealing, you know, as many details as he knew about his plans, because people have questions.
All right, Steve, I'll give him that.
Right. I just said, if you're going to come on Fox, don't take shots at Fox. Just be polite, you know. At least be respectful of the medium. His shots at Fox were totally ridiculous.
But I expected it.
Yeah.
And I agree with that, Bernie. You don't pop shots at the network, man. And don't do like dumb stuff like Elizabeth Warren, who won't show up at all. I mean, go there and give your respects, but you can pop shot at their philosophies, but you ain't got to pop shot at the host of the or the network that's hosting you. That is kind of disrespectful. But hey, you can't even, you know, you got these numbnuts won't even go to Fox. All right, there we go. So, I mean, people like Stuart Varney is, I don't want to call people scum of the earth. They're thinking it's just scumbaggy. They're vulture capitalists. They believe in this minds and minds alone philosophy. Why should I have to share my wealth with people who's not working? Who said you're going to share your wealth with people who are not working? You do understand the people who are not working, they didn't always not work, that most of the people who's not working, that's going through welfare, that's going through, that's probably homeless, most people, they work jobs, they paid their fair share of taxes, and they're just getting a return out of their investment. You should know about that, Stuart Varney. The people who are on SNAP right now, food stamps, they paid taxes into that system, and that system is there just in case. So when you are put in a situation where you do need some kind of help because you lost your job, lost your home, you got in a car accident, medical bills were too high, and you just got in a position where it's tough. See, Stuart Varney can lose it all, and he could be in that position. But cocky, arrogant aristocrats like him, once you made your money, you forget who you are or where you came from. Or you never knew what it was really like to live on average or become poor. And that's why you can stand there and thumb your nose at people who say we're going to tax you over a certain amount of money and take those taxes. By the way, you can find a way to get your money out those taxes back, Stuart Varney. But we're going to take that money and we're going to put it over here, and we're going to do more education. We're going to build affordable housing or public housing. Get off the affordable housing and go back to public, because affordable housing is still corporate housing. They'll throw you out and they raise the rent up and a whole bunch of stuff like that. So stay off that. We're going to put in laws. That's why he need to do this, Stuart Varney. Because we need a fair Americans. Like in that class, they had 3 charts. They had one chart where capitalism took over, man. The working people and fair wages was so small. And the yellow part of the pie chart was all capitalism, majority of it was vulture capitalism. people who just want to have 20 cars. What you gonna do with 20 cars, man? I'm gonna drive all of them. Dude, you don't need 20 cars. Maybe 5 if you're rich, but 20? We played games like musical chairs, and we gave all the chairs to the rich person, and the person who was trying to sit down didn't get a place to sit down, and that's how they use it as a tool to divide people. It makes you focus on what's available and how you got to have a dog-eat-dog world to get the little bit of scratch that's available. Why? Because that numbnut Rockefeller who went out and shot everybody in the minefield is trying to keep his money. It's what we're dealing with, and that's Stuart. And thank God, even though I have my difference with Bernie Sanders, his thinking isn't on that level. He's saying, look, I don't care these rich people, if I'm elected, I'm going to do this. Now, mind you, saying and doing is 2 different things. So you guys really believe he can do that? My hat's off to you. I can't trust nobody in politics, and I'm not. Show me, don't tell me. When you show me, you might win some points with me. I'll give you props. There's certain things that Trump did that I had to give him props for. Like, I'm still looking in this Mexico thing, and if that thing is working, I'll give him props for it. But it seems like there's the legs are weak, and it's more show and tell than true sale. As far as the thing with prison reform, he took an old bill and he started reintroducing that. I'm still looking to that, but my hat's off to him for taking up that issue. I don't hate Trump and everything. A couple things he done good, I give him props. If Bernie Sanders do these things, I'll give him props. I still think there's more needed pressing issues, especially in my community, and I'm going to continue to advocate for that and a whole bunch of things. But this one thing I know, his philosophy, now having changed for 20, 30, 40 years, is still the same. We need to stop fighting wars. We need to promote peace. We need to take that money, reinvest it in the community. We need to start investing in social programming for this democracy, not socialism. And the way I'm going to have to do that is I'm going to have to make these people pay their fair share. Not do something new and extreme and slap them upside the head, but pay your fair share. Now I'm going to show you another video how one Fox News host from Fox Business kind of was wild about the policies that these progressives are demanding. And I understand this, progressivism is not a party, even though they have a progressive party. Progressivism is a philosophy. These are what we're believing for. And we're not going to vote for anybody unless they're going to give it. That's why I say people from the ADOS community, we have to have that kind of documentation where we go to these politicians and say, if you sign it, if you don't sign it, forget about my vote. I had about a couple of years ago, called the People's Manifesto. It was the same thing, a list of things saying this is what I want to see happen in America. I'm an American. Most Americans agree with these things. So this is what the American people want. We don't want to hear your vision. We want you to take our vision and adopt it in your campaign. Push this, and we'll push you. Don't push this, we're not going to push you. Oh, we'll push you. We're going to push you off the Brooklyn Bridge. You ain't going to have no chance. You're going to drown in the sea of losing the campaign if you don't support us. So anyway, Stuart Varney, the cocky, arrogant scumbag, scallywag that he is. Stuart Varney, your day is going to come. This kind of attitude warrants humbling. And the day may come where you're going to find out you ain't got no money. And you will know what it will be like to be in the doghouse, so to speak. And your whole mentality changing. I'm speaking this to you. Your whole mentality. God has a way of dealing with ugly people. And that dealing with ugly people is he'll step back, take his hand, put it behind his back, and leave you free to fend for yourself. See, when you take care of the poor, God's going to bless you. And what's the opposite of not taking care of the poor? Cursing. Well, your day gonna come, bruh. Keep running your mouth. I'm Robert Brown with The Rob Report. I'll holler at you later. Peace. Hey, thank you for watching that episode of The Rob Report. Before you go now, I need you to do two things for me. First thing, I want you to like the video if you liked it. Second thing, I want you to share it all across social media. And if you have not subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button right now. Stop and do it. As Jimmy Dore says sometimes, you think you're subscribed, or you go check and find out you're not subscribed. So make sure you check that you're subscribed and hit the notification bell. That'll let you know when I put a new content out. I'm not a fan of Super Chat, so if you plan on giving to the efforts of Bob TV, make sure you do that through Bob TV NYC at paypal.me. Anybody who want to have free access to my Patreon channel, I'm trying to save you money on your cable bill. I ran into a program that I think everybody can afford, and everybody should have, and that link is down there below. 5,000 plus channel, best sports package, and the best premium TV, and even international channels, and you can access this all over the world. Go ahead and check that out, get your free trial, and if you decide to support, become members of those two services, we'll go ahead and give you full access to the Patreon channel, and there's no cost to it. So my name is Robert Brown with The Rob Report. Thank you for watching. I'll holler at you later. Peace.